something what, when it is broken from outside, then it becomes your breakfast. When it is broken from inside, there is a life. I didn't finish my puzzle. And when it is broken from inside, there is a life. And when your wife, when it is caught by your wife, then it becomes your dinner. Egg is the right answer. What is that breakfast?
Omelette.
Omelette, right? And what is that life which I am referring to? Chick. Not chicken, chick. And what is the dinner I am referring to? Chicken kebab, malai kebab, tandoori kebab. I will not go further because I could hear the change which is directly coming from your tummy. Let's start with a small change by turning off your mobile phones to silent mode. If you wish to step out or step in, do so when you hear an applause. Today, let's not serve the dish of political, sexual and religious because it is very difficult to digest. You know what happens when it doesn't digest? I hope you understand. The last story of this evening, she started as a speech crafter and then later joined our club. Initially her confidence was very less. Today I could see she is one of the better speakers of our club and she represented humorous speech contest at division level. One of our ex-president, Toastmasters Kumar, thinks there is a reason, there is a one word reason for her transformational change. What is that one word called? Okay. I'm not looking for the word. Any other word?
Motivation.
Okay. Not still. Little bit closer.
Mentor. Inspiration.
Leader. Challenge. She challenged herself. She took up the SAA role. She get into the committee. Then later immediately she get into VP education. But taking up challenge is not so easy. Because in challenge, if you remove 3 letters, what you get? Change. LLE. What is that LLE? Limiting lame excuses. She has overcome that excuses. Whatever change, the change within is she. And the change around, it's me. Can we welcome her? I didn't hear you. Unless you say very loud, I'm not going to welcome her. Can we welcome her?
Yes.
Thank you. Put your hands together to welcome our role model president who leads by an example, Toastmaster Amrith.
Can we have a big round of applause for our Sergeant-in-Arms? Well, it feels like that I can't give any lame excuses now. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
How are you doing today?
First class.
Top of the world? Some of us are, and some of us are sitting next to them, who are on top of the world. Great. Now, I can see a few new faces. May I request our guests to please rise? Please stand. Thank you. Members, how do we welcome our guests? Thank you so much. Please take your seats. I hope you enjoy today's meeting. And Bangalore Toastmasters Club is one of the oldest and the biggest club in India. So you are part of a legendary club and I'm sure you are going to have a great time today. Before we move on, I would like to call our Secretary, Toastmaster Abhinava, to read out the minutes of previous meeting. Please begin.
Thank you, Madam
Toastmasters impressed? How are we doing today?
Great.
Wonderful. Last week's meeting was so beautiful. It was incredibly inspiring. The theme of the meeting was from reaction to creation. The word of the day was intention, something that you plan to do. The number of members attended was 38, guests were 11. The winners for the last week's meeting were as follows, with the Best Speaker Award shared between Toastmaster Amrith and Toastmaster Divya. The Best Evaluator Award going to Toastmaster Vaidyanathan Duraisami. And the Best Role Taker Award going to Distinguished Toastmaster Shashank Bhatt for the General Evaluator role. The Best Auxiliary Role Taker going to Toastmaster Amisha Nahar for the Diamond role. And the Best Evaluator for the Best Table Topic Speaker Award going to Toastmaster Azor Sinha. The meeting ended smoothly and everything went well thanks to the participation of all members. And with that, I hand it back to our gracious president.
Are there any changes in the minutes of meeting? No? The minutes stand fast. I also officially call to order meeting number 152. When I was a kid, we were allowed to watch very few movies. And the ones which I watched, they left a lasting impression on my mind. One movie which I particularly loved is Jurassic Park. When the movie came, after watching the movie, I impatiently waited for its sequel to come. When the sequel did not come for some time, I sat down and wrote my own version of the sequel. After 4 years, when the Lost World Jurassic Park came, and I watched it, I was a little disappointed. For me, it was moreover a flop. But something interesting happened. In the whole process, I changed from a mere spectator to a creator and a storyteller. I read about another person who went through similar transformation. An American singer, songwriter, Bradford Cox. He is the lead guitarist and the lead singer with the band Deer Hunter. When he was a kid, he had no internet at his home. So he had to wait long time before his favorite band's new albums would come out and he could actually hear them. So what did he do? Instead of sitting and waiting, he started writing his own lyrics and creating his own music for the bands, that what he expected the bands to come up with in the new albums. And years later, all that music that he wrote and created became part of Deer Hunter songs. Writer Austin Kleon said, "Draw the art that you want to see. Start the business you want to run. Play the music you want to sing or hear. And write the stories you want to read." The idea is that instead of waiting and sitting for the world to change, we take our step and become a creator and create a world that we want to live in. Now, to take the meeting forward, we have someone who is deeply interested in the ancient Indian literature and history. follows, he practices, and as well as reads anything and everything regarding Ayurveda, yoga, meditation. And in his quest for learning, he has traveled extensively, not just in India, but across the world. From the lanes of Varanasi and Bodh Gaya to the lanes of Vatican City and Jerusalem, he has already covered over 20 countries in Asia, Middle East, and Europe. He is an electronics graduate and an MBA, and is currently working as product manager with TCS. We at Bangalore Toastmasters Club have seen his management skills in the way he played the role of VP membership. For 2 terms, he got a stark, impressive 32 numbers of members for speech draft for both batches. The numbers are not important here. What is important is with the calmness and confidence he played his role during the term. So ladies and gentlemen, please join your hands to welcome the calm, the confident, and the wise Toastmaster Balakrishna Rao.
Thank you, Madam President, for the tall tale and wonderful introduction. I don't know if I deserve, but thank you very much. So it's been my pleasure and honor to be taking up this Toastmaster of the Day for the first time in Bangalore Toastmasters. And that too in a historic and legendary Bangalore Toastmasters. This club, our very own club, is the second oldest club in India and the oldest club in Bangalore. So it's always my pride to take up anything, any activity here. Thank you very much. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
So how are you feeling today? Top of the world. So thank God it's not raining, otherwise you would have seen in terms of attendance. So what comes to your mind when I say the word change? Right? Don't say chiller, but change, change in terms of maybe somebody who has an impact on your life, right? Role model, or anything that pops up to your mind. Please feel free to come up with it.
Transformation.
Huh?
Transformation.
Any person names that you can think of? Any person that you think as idol, role model, comes to your mind suddenly, when I say influence, impact. Moody. Okay. Yes. Anyone?
Amrith Kaur.
Amrith, wow. Yes?
Gandhi. So Gandhiji.
Gandhiji, okay. So we all have some role models, maybe assistant a bit, maybe slight off. So you all have role models and we look up to them, right? But we want to become like that person. What if I tell you that we are largely influenced by something else beyond what we believe is the one who is impacting? No, we are actually influenced by something else. Our choices, our behavior is largely dependent on something else. So I am talking about some person. He was a student back then. In 2004, he started an intranet site, and that was to exchange messages, profile with the students in the Harvard campus. Okay, and quickly within 2 years, it became the sort of the networking tool across the globe. Any guesses?
Yes.
Mark Zuckerberg. The reason is last week he had his birthday, so I thought it was the right time to connect to our theme today, which is influence, change within, around, and so on. Now, when he started this, intention was to exchange info and all of this, and the Meta, which is called as a Meta social technology company, today has over 3.5 billion users using those apps every day. Okay, it goes across Meta, the Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, and all that. If you're like me, probably you're using only WhatsApp, but I'm sure many of you are using more than one apps on a regular basis, right? So when we use these apps, it's not just using apps; it also reflects on the influence. So many of the guests, for example, guests who have come in today, have gone through social media, have checked our Instagram and portal and all of this and read testimonials. Probably are influenced to come here. Otherwise, they had a lot of other options to also to spend time on Friday evening, right? So if you have come here, that means there is something that influenced you to come. And we also, many who have joined as members, also didn't just directly came here. We also kind of reviewed, came here as guests and then joined. So we can see clearly we cannot sideline the social media. The influence that it has on us. Okay. Similarly, if I go back 100 years, the Toastmaster movement started, and that movement was started by the legendary Ralph C. Smedley, and it took him almost 20 years, way back in 1904, which he ideated and started, but it took almost 20 years for Ralph C. Smedley to officially start the first Toastmasters Club. Yeah. It was in 1924, it was a basement of YMCA, Santa Ana, California, and that's where it started 100 years ago. Back then, no technology, no internet, so probably the way to connect with people was probably door-to-door campaign, pamphlet, or maybe ad in newspaper, because even telephone was a luxury, right? So this movement has led today for Toastmasters Club. So the Toastmasters is present in over 124 countries and has 13,800 plus clubs and around 260,000 plus active members around the globe. So let's come today, fast forward and come today. So today the meeting format goes like this, and maybe for the benefit of guests, these are 3 sections. Okay, Toastmaster meeting every meeting has 3 sections. The first section is the prepared speech section. So prepared speech section, I will call upon speakers. We have 4 speakers today, as you can see the names. They will be giving speeches and all of this. That is the first section. The second section is led by table topics master, who will give topics, small topics to the members. You can come on stage and talk for 1 to 2 minutes. That is the second section. Okay. Then the third section is the evaluation section. So evaluation, all the feedback on how the meeting went and everything, and so on and so forth. So we have somebody who is a general evaluator who will lead the third section. Okay, so to explain, maybe general evaluator is more like a spy chief. Okay, so that person is under surveillance camera, is watching the meeting right from beginning, and will give the report at the end to take us through. But for the general evaluator or the spy chief, they need some support, right? So we call them as a tag team. T for timer, A for R-counter, and G for pyramid. So what they do, when I call upon, they will explain to you. But they are the Dhurandhars of today, the tag team. So I'll introduce them one by one. Maybe agent W1. Timer for today. So he has been with the Bangalore Toastmasters Club for over a decade, and he has been motivation for all of us. He has taken off 7 of the executive committee roles in the past, and his name also means mentor. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to the timer of today to read the guidelines, Toastmaster Guru Prasad.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How diligently you use the time, it decides how great leader you are. So with that, today my role is a timer. My job is to record the complete the meeting
from the start to the end with all the time taken by all the role takers. For prepared speeches, the time allotted is around about 4 to 6 minutes for the icebreaker speeches and 5 to 7 minutes for the general speeches. So at the time, at 4 minutes, I'll show you the green card. At 5 minutes, I'll show you the yellow card, and at 6 minutes, I'll show the red card. Similarly, for the speeches, 4 minutes at green, and 5 yellow, and 6 red. And for the table topics, it's 1.5 minutes, and for the evaluation of the speeches, it is 3 minutes. So again, for evaluation, I'll show at 2 minutes, I'll show the green card, I'll show amber yellow at 2.5, and 3 minutes, I'll show the red card. Thank you very much. Again, I'll end of the report, end of the meeting, I'll give the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, timer, Toastmaster, sir. Moving on to the Agent 002. The Agent 002 provides the intelligence of our counter. So this person works as a program manager with Mercedes-Benz, and he likes spending time with his 2 kids. And he's joined our club recently, and also he's our speech crafter. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our counter of the day, Toastmaster Muralidhar couple.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Think of me as the meeting's quality analyst. Okay? So, what does he do in our projects, in our offices? So, I'll be quietly counting the R's, Ms, repeated words, and the filler words in the speeches of the speakers, and those repeated words which will be influencing our speech without imitation. So, my job is to increase everybody's stress. Sorry, only the awareness. So, please take the stress out. So, at the end of the meeting, I'll present my report and share the observations so that we can make our speeches sharper, concise, and effective. So, speakers, speak freely, but remember, I'm listening. Thank you.
Toastmaster or Agent 002. So now calling upon Agent 003. She is the immediate past president, and she works as a tech lead. She has 0 clutch words, okay, and she has a very good command on English. She speaks with conviction, and she has clarity. A lot of CC because her name is also CC. Please join in welcoming the grammarian of today, Toastmaster Chaitra Chandrapilli.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Grammar is something that can take your speech from good to great. It can help people be impressed by what you say, and it can also give people something to look forward to. Today, as a grammarian, it is my duty to make a note of good and use of grammar and areas for improvement. And I will make a note and present it at the end of today's session. It is also my responsibility to introduce the word of the day. It is influence. It means the power to have an effect on people or things. An example usage would be, our teachers have a huge influence on our lives. I encourage all of you to use today's word, and hopefully we'll see everyone who comes here on stage use the word. Back to the
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we come to the end of the intro for the tag team. So we'll quickly move on to the prepared speech, okay, the section 1. Before I go to the speaker 1, I would like to introduce the evaluator to read out the guidelines. So evaluator is, he is with Toastmasters Club for over a couple of few years, and he works as an investment banker with PwC, and he likes going on trekking, hiking. You already heard some speeches going to Spiti Valley and all his adventures. So please join me in welcoming the evaluator for the first speaker, Toastmaster Mahesh Lokesh.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Wishing the best to Toastmaster Srinidhi. Thank you.
The first speaker is going to give his first speech, an icebreaker speech. So imagine you're going on a summit, and suddenly you find a 6-foot snake crossing your path. What do? Either you step back or you run, right? But the next speaker will grab it. So he likes animal kingdom so much, and he has gone for trekking to a lot of places globally. We'll wait to hear a story from him. Please join me, welcome the George of the Jungle, Toastmaster Srinidhi Anil Kumar.
I've paid my way to every success that I am today. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
I'm native to Bangalore. My father is a retired regional manager from Yardley, and my mother is a director of Indian Montessori training course. I have an elderly sister who is married into a happy family. Looking at my school days, I completed my schooling from the Anand Sagar International School. In my school days, I had a challenge to communicate to people clearly. I used to stammer a lot. It went worse during my high school days where I chose to write rather than speak. It went to that extent. Additionally, my studies was worsened due to my interest in making a career in cricket. Looking at myself, I was the only student in the school to have failed 11 subjects out of 12 in my 9th grade. You heard me right? You heard me right. I was the only person to have failed 11 subjects out of 12 in my school days. However, since I was good in cricket, it was an icing on the cake for my principal to retain me back in the school. As my cricketing career grew into greater heights in my school days, while winning tournaments for the schools at club level, to have shared stages with the IPL players, especially with RCB, Royal Challengers Bangalore, and with the Rajasthan Royals. I was with the club for about 3 to 4 years during my school days while practicing with the club at the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium. I was popular at school then because my photographs were displayed on the school's notice board. However, one such day arrived when, during the school assembly, I was called on to the stage to address about my experience on how it was while practicing with the players. I happily walked towards the dais. I collected the mic. I couldn't speak. Due to my intense of stammering, I could not start my speech. My heart started to pound. I dropped the mic and I walked out of the assembly in front of 350 people. As I took the stairs down to my classroom, I realized that if I continue to perform well in my cricket, if I get to be recognized in the school, probably I may have to end up with such experiences where I will become a talk in the town. a similar incident surfaced during my college day too, where my name again went upon the school notice board to have been selected for the under 19 men's team, and yet again I was unable to deliver the speech there. So what I did, additionally, to complete my college days, as I mentioned, I am so bad at studies. Again, I made the headlines in the college staff room to be the one of the 2 students to have taken a supplementary exam to complete my college. Neither am I good at studies, nor am I good at communication. I went through a very rough phase. And then eventually, as I got into my degree, because I was not so good at studies, I had to opt for an evening college because with my studies I am not affordable to admit in a regular college. Hence, I had to get into an evening college where at that time my cricketing career had taken a back seat due to an injury. So what do I do in the morning hours since I am admitted to an evening college? That is when I got into pursuing my training for the Montessori method of education that caters needs of children between 2.5 to 6 years of age. Since then, the life has changed for me as the Montessori education helped me grow as it suited my personality very well. Currently, I am a trainer at Indian Montessori training courses. I've been training the teachers in this method of education across India and globally. Communication was a nightmare for me because I could not speak. And the reason that I chose Toastmasters was to overcome that fear of communication. And choosing presentation mastery as my path was to enable myself to present in any crowd setting. So from making headlines in the during the school days and in the college, to have been invited as a chief guest in the same school that I studied was truly an honor to me. My teachers are very proud of my journey as I am able to influence people across the globe and across India with my training to teachers. However, looking at my life, for me, communication is not just a life, it is a rebirth. Sorry, communication is not just a tool for me, it is a rebirth of my life. Over to you.
Bangalore Toastmasters Club has a tradition to give a standing ovation for the icebreaker speech. Because this is the first speech that he has given in the club. And we want to honor that because we already heard, right, of the that journey of 1,000 miles begins with the single step. That single step, the first step, is going to be probably the longest one, right? But going onwards, it will be like a music. So thank you very much for the speech. Now quickly we will move on to the next speaker. Before that, I would like to introduce the evaluator. He works as a software engineer and he likes going on trekking, hiking, and he has also taken a lot of initiative in taking up the tabletop master and Tikimania that we have. So please join me in welcoming the evaluator for the second speaker, Toastmaster Tirumalesh.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The speaker is attempting a part presentation mastery level 1, which is icebreaker. The purpose of the project is for the member to introduce themselves to the club, share their background, interests, goals and experiences with the audience, who they are as a person. So all the best to the speaker and back to you.
Thank you. Okay, to introduce the speaker, second speaker, also giving the icebreaker speech. As kids, we all had dreams. Right? Some big dreams, small dreams, whatever dreams, we all had. This person also dreamt, not like maybe most of us. She thought, okay, I'll be at the comfort of home, watch Doraemon, avoid the human interaction completely, right? But God had some other plans. Now her role, she works as a HR, so she has to interact even more. So please join me with the speech title, Perfectly Imperfect. Perfectly Imperfect, speech title. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Divya Someshwar.
I strongly believe in the saying, life begins when you step out of your comfort zone. But today, as I stand here on the stage, I realize this stage itself was once far beyond mine. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
My comfort zone was simple. It was my home at Bangalore with my mom, my dad, and my younger brother, Sharat. As a child, I was joyful yet shy. I believed happiness meant staying close to family. I would cry endlessly just to avoid going to school. All I wanted was to stay at home, watch Doraemon, Dragon Tales, Takeshi's Castle, listen to old Kannada songs, and live in that safe bubble. But slowly, that world began to expand. I started to go to school regularly, made friends, learned new things. And somewhere along the way, I was still shy and not very confident in step issues. Even my name became a joke. Divya S turned into Divya Yes or Divya No. And honestly, I never really had an answer. Slowly, when that changed, there was a change that happened to me in my 7th and 9th grade. I started reading more, listening to different kinds of music, and watching stories that made me think differently. There, what happened is I discovered the magic of words and storytelling. At school, there was an instance where people never believed that how did a confused kid like me top the class? I began performing academically well because I did not become more confused, instead more confident. That curiosity is what turned into confidence for me. Then came one turning point. It was International Women's Day, and I volunteered to speak in front of the entire school. My principal, Ms. Rubina Farooq, was known for her flawless English. And she was well known as an English teacher as well for me. So there I was, mispronouncing words and second guessing myself. But no one else had volunteered, so I had to go ahead. I spoke, and it went well. Surprisingly, that one moment opened doors I never imagined. I became an MC for Teachers' Day, and I played as a lead in a Kannada skit. But growth is never a straight line. I entered Mount Carmel College, and I believe that I am going to ace it. I was confident, active, and even became the assistant class representative for a class of 100 students. And then everything changed. I started comparing myself to others. I believed everyone around me was more confident, more talented, more smart. And there came a realization where slowly that doubt turned into low self-esteem. I stopped wanting to socialize, and I wanted to just be in that bubble. That's how that phase was. I didn't feel like waking up, and I lost interest in the things that I really loved. My parents were very worried. That's when I began speaking to Miss Newton, my counselor. And one thing she told me stayed with me. What you feed your mind is what you become. She influenced to make me realize that I was feeding my mind with comparison, doubt, and fear. And I was chasing perfection, but the truth is perfection doesn't always exist. There will always be flaws, and these flaws are what makes us human. I started accepting myself not as perfect, but as perfectly imperfect. I completed my BCom in Mount Carmel College. I became part of the Public Speaking Association there, won some inter and intra-college competitions. I got placed to a sales job. And today I have 3.5 years of experience in talent acquisition. I don't know sometimes how I did it all. At the same time, I would also like to tell that there was a phase where I was going through all of this, and now it's a different career path altogether. My message to all of you here is, you don't have to be perfect to begin with. You just need to be willing. So step out, try, fall, learn, and most importantly, embrace being perfectly imperfect. This is Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Divya, Someshwar, for such a wonderful icebreaker speech. We are now quite inspired with the two speeches. Let's quickly move on to the third speaker now. And before going to the third speaker, I would like to introduce our evaluator. So, evaluator for the third speaker, he's a passionate engineer. He works with Bosch, and he has been with Bangalore Toastmasters Club for over 8 years. And he has taken several of the committee roles and all of this. So, to read out the guidelines, I request Toastmaster Abhay Kothari.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
This project is very surprisingly called Inspire Your Audience, after two inspiring speeches. And the purpose of this project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires the audience. Timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you. All the best to the speaker.
So our next speaker, she's a yoga trainer by profession, which means she is flexible to give speech in reverse, headstand, chakrasana. You name any asana, she can give speech. But more importantly, she has this yes mindset, because we have seen her take up all of these roles on the spot. So she is our go-to person if somebody drops out at last minute. So we just say, please. She's like, I'll do it. So for that yes mindset, with the speech titled Permission to Begin, Toastmaster Rashi Palgota.
When was the last time you chose to stay invisible? Happy evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Happy evening.
Think about it. Maybe an opportunity that came your way, an event or a social gathering, or something new and unfamiliar that you were to try, but you simply let it pass. You suddenly became too busy for that opportunity. And why is that? The invisibleness helps you, moves you into a place where you don't want to try. And when you don't try, you don't fail. So isn't that simple, like don't try, don't fail. And if you don't fail, then there's nobody to judge you. So it's the perfect opportunity. But no, life really doesn't work that way. And for the longest time, I chose to stay invisible because I thought it was the easier option. To just say no because I wasn't ready. Because I thought that I might not be able to do the job perfectly. So I thought maybe just staying away is the better option. Just last year, during Navratri, my friends decided, let's go for Garba. And I wasn't quite excited. I usually try and stay away from social gatherings where we're supposed to expose ourselves into dancing, singing, and really be out there. So I was immediately not in for that plan. But you know, friends, they were absolutely adamant about me joining that plan. The one time where I asked my mom that you have to say no to this plan because I am not interested, she says, no, go ahead, you should enjoy. Like, what happened to all the other times when I actually wanted to go out? So, obviously, my friends came home, talked to my parents, and there I was, but I had to go to the event. I got ready, we went for the event, a huge hall, loud music, hundreds of people. Stood there in a huge circle with our set of friends, waiting for the music to begin. I was wondering, is there still a chance for me to run and go back home? But that didn't seem that. The minute the music began, I noticed something different. Half the people there were clueless. They had no idea what had to be done. So some of them didn't know how to play, they banged into each other, they were laughing around, bouncing this, that, and simply enjoying themselves. And I was confused. Like, weren't people supposed to be perfect and dance really well? Because that's what I had seen. I wondered what to do. Stood there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, not knowing how to take the first step. Slowly, my friend dragged me along, moving into different groups, trying to understand how they were dancing, trying to copy them, and just make our own steps and move with the flow. So we went along, and slowly the question in my head began to disappear. That maybe you don't have to be good. Maybe you're not auditioning for something. You're just there to enjoy yourself. So I stopped thinking about anything and just started going with the flow. We danced and danced. It was not just a few hours, but 5 hours straight for the first time. I was so happy, I was so not bothered by people around me, and rather helping others feel comfortable in the circle. After a while, we sat down, tired, trying to just take our breaths, when one of my friends just looks up and says, "What happened to you?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" She said, "You were so different. Where was this Rashi all along? So fun, so happy, so jolly." And I was like, "So are you trying to say that I'm not a good person? Like, I'm not a happy person?" And he goes on to say, "No, that's not what I mean, but we've never seen this side of you, like so out there. We've always seen you as a shy, introverted person who doesn't speak a lot." And I wondered about it. Yes, that was not the kind of person I am. So how did that change appear so suddenly? And I began to wonder. I realized that maybe all of this was happening only because I chose to give it a try. Only because I thought that I should try and experience something new. What if 2 days back I had said no and said, "No, that's not possible, just leave me alone." Maybe they wouldn't have got to see a side of me which I had also not seen. So I realized something along this journey of Garba, where I understood that maybe you shouldn't always be saying no to new experiences. I had made it so normal for me to say no to everything that saying yes felt different. But it was supposed to be the other way around. So later that day when I realized that maybe I have wasted so many years of my life just by saying no and not getting to experience so many versions of myself which are still there inside me. All this only because I was waiting for myself to be ready, to be confident, and to be perfect.
but that day is never going to come. Because unless you keep trying as a beginner, unless you keep giving yourself permission to try to begin something new, how are you going to get better? So I realized something like this, that maybe I should try and give some chances to myself and put myself in new places. Now I'm not standing here to say that I'm out there all the time and I've changed as a person. No, I still say no to a lot of things. But somewhere inside me I know that if I'm saying no to 5 things, I'm saying yes to 1 thing. Only because I want to be part of a new experience. So all I want to say to all of you is that maybe think about a few things that you've been saying no to and just give it a try. Only for the sake of it. If you go well, you go well. If you don't, you can take a step back. But it's completely up to you to always give yourself the permission to begin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashi, for such a wonderful speech. So we'll quickly move on to the 4th speech for today. Before going to the speaker, I would like to introduce the evaluator. Evaluator is a trainer, he's a motivational speaker, he's a TEDx speaker, and he currently works as a professor in Sindhi College. And he has been our inspiration for all of our members. And he has not just done 1, 2, he has done 3 postgraduate and 1 doctorate. Please join me in welcoming the evaluator for the 4th speaker, DTM Dr. Rajdeep Manwani.
The purpose of this second speech is for the member to share some aspects of the experience building a team and leading a team building event. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to this speaker. Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker, he is an engineer by profession and he has his own business. He's an entrepreneur. And we have seen in his past speeches how inspiring and informational it is. Without much delay, I would like to call the next speaker with the speech title New Beginning. Agent 007, Eapen, Toastmaster, Jacob Eapen.
Good evening, Toastmasters and welcome guests.
Good evening.
I was so happy in seeing the team change with change around. I somehow felt that every day in my life, things happen for a reason. At my age, I am faced with a situation where I have to build a team to change the environment I live in. To build any team, you can equate it to a chain. And many of you might have heard the strength of a chain is depending on its weakest link. Have any of you heard this phrase? Do you agree with this? Yes. Good. Having said that, it so happened that I live in an ancestral house built 50 years ago. And when my great-grandparents built this house, they built this house with a different Bangalore, which I personally believe was the Bangalore which all of you would have loved to live in. We had open balconies in this house. We had trees all around. Guava trees, mango trees, avocado trees, and we had wide open balconies with big windows. I remember as a child sitting on these balconies, and I was so happy to feel the air on my face, the breeze. And believe me, the simplest simplest of things in life make the most lasting memories. Today, I'm sorry to say, my neighbor has built a multi-storied house next door. And this is in central Bangalore. The neighbor on the other side, to compete with this particular man, has built a house even taller. So suddenly, as a family, we felt that we were sandwiched between tall structures. Of course, we have a wonderful BBMP which controls every building which is built in Bangalore. But it goes without saying that some people don't like to follow the rules. At whose expense? It's people like us who believe in the traditional values of open balconies, windows where light streams in. And you can read the newspaper on the balcony. Or you can listen to your parents telling stories. And this house, over the past 50 years, gathered so many stories that the walls themselves became alive. Believe me, Toastmasters and guests, when you attach sentiment to the walls of a house, you are a different person. You are a person which will make the city live again. It happened. These horrendous structures, the continuous traffic made it impossible for a person to sit on the balcony. We had to run indoors, close all the windows, and sit inside because the dust was so much. There was a continuous movement of traffic, the blowing horns. People, believe me, there are people who drive just pressing the horn. I don't know why. It's the most irritating thing that when you make your sedate way on a road, that people come behind for no reason, they keep pressing the horn. And all that you can do is laugh and wave at them, and that makes them even more angry. I don't know why this temperament, this mentality in this beautiful state of Bangalore. So a decision was made to bring down this house. Sorry to say, as the things has changed in change around, it's the most traumatic experience I felt. I had to break down an ancestral house which was built 50 years ago. And believe me, a function was set, an event was created where a JCB, it's one of those monstrous machines with a big claw, it came and banged the house and a big chunk fell down. And this groundbreaking, house-breaking event was the most traumatic event in my life. My family and I literally wept. But then, change is the only constant in life. People change. And I'm so amazed that every day the world gets younger around me. I don't know why people are age difference 30 years, 40 years. But still, you have to change. Because to change is to understand the new mentality. And believe me, the older you get, the generation below you does something really amazing. Because they grasp technology, they grasp change with open hands. This was the groundbreaking event which I hosted with a team, a lawyer, an engineer, a builder. The team was formed to break down an ancestral house, and the event was a groundbreaking event where an ancestral house of so much sentimental value was leveled to the ground in front of a family so that we could raise a structure as big as our neighbors, maybe a little taller. So the simple situation is, when you live in Rome, do what the Romans do, what the Bangaloreans do. Buy 2-3 cars and run it on the road and keep pressing the horn at every turn, whether you like it or not. And I'm I'm sure you will do well. Embrace change. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Jacob, we can feel, we can understand you. When I put a sticker behind my car, please don't honk. So I get more honks actually. So I should put honk more, maybe probably they'll think, oh, I'm not honking. Fine. So we have completed with our speeches. Okay, so the password, okay, the link, the password is 2226. Password is 2226 for the voting link. And we are going to take a break for 4 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We have an exciting table topic session. So 4 minutes break. Please be back. And for restroom, washroom is just behind this wall. We just go around. And this is a networking. You can feel free to talk and interact. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much for coming back. Welcome back. We'll start with the interesting section, table topic section. Okay. So I'll introduce the table topics master for today, who will lead the section, this session. He actually needs no introduction because he is the founder president of this legendary, historic Bangalore Toastmasters Club. And he has been associated with the club and officially for 29 years, but with other efforts it's been more than 3 decades. By profession, he's an advocate and legal consultant, and he has been associated with several of the judiciary societies and NGOs and so on. So introducing him will become more like a prepared speech for me. But we are humbled, we are very motivated to have him, inspired to have him. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our very own Toastmaster Abhay.
How many guests are there here? How many are coming for the first time? First time, please stand up. First time your Toastmasters Club meeting. What is the reason? Yeah. Those that come for the first time you are coming for a meeting. Please come. Please come. I just explained to you what's happening and what you have seen already. You have seen 4 speakers. Srinidhi, Divya, SR known. Rashi, Palgota, all dancers. Then Jacob was in a member. They have given prepared speeches. This session is to speak unprepared, without any preparation. Is it difficult? Friends, we have to learn. We are learning. I see we have nearly more than 20 speakers in this session already. And I'll see that, you will see that everyone is going to speak. It's a session where we handhold you and teach you how to learn, how to speak without preparation. The first topic is my dream home. Mr. Srinidhi.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and players.
Good evening. Good evening.
As a fellow speaker mentioned, my dream home is something which has a garden where I can play with my pets, grow some trees and supplements, crops. I mean, not big crops, not such a big farm, but definitely something which I can see every day. And the reason for that is simple. Yes, we need 4 walls to stay, but we also need some environment to keep us connected with nature
and just make us feel happy, so more comfortable whenever we are at home. So yeah, I mean, in Bangalore, I cannot afford such a large place, right? So, but definitely maybe far off a farmhouse that's one of my dream thing to have a farmhouse and just let my pets free, play around and have fun. So that would be my dream.
Thank you.
I brought chocolate for you to speak up. Now, second. Yeah, are you ready?
Yes.
My goal in life. Topic is my goal in life. Mr. Anil.
So why should I have a goal in life, first of all? Isn't it a pressure on you that to have some goal and which may expect you to deliver? I don't like to have want a goal in life. So I want to be free all by myself without any goal. Let things happen on its own and let me also face the life the way it comes. This is what I was when I was 20 years old. And then what happened? I completed engineering and I never got placed in a company. I was asked to embrace the life the way it is. When all my friends, my batchmates joined in an organization immediately in the campus. And I was not very sure what to do. Okay, I didn't get a job. Should I do an MS? Oh my God. I struggled completing engineering in 4 years. How can I do it? Then I realized, after getting the first job, after 6 months of hard work, that I should have some goal in my life. You know, that was the year in 2013. I joined my first Toastmasters meeting, where I thought like I should put a goal in life where I should express myself. At least I should learn how to speak. And then I found my career took off. I did my MBA and I got placed in a very good company. And then my career got progress. So please have a goal in your life. Don't be like a 20-year-old.
The time is the number of questions that given that we have to pay. The time is 1 minute 15 seconds. 1 minute green card, 15 seconds green card. Now the third topic, person who inspired me. Person who inspired me, Mr. Naveen.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Person who inspired me, the first was my dad. Because it was very difficult to see him at least once in a day. As Anil said, I was also never had a goal. I used to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Before that, my father had already left for the job. And he was a multi-talented guy. After his job also, he used to have other activities. He was an engineer, he was a dramatist, he had his own orchestra, and someone or the other will come by the time he comes back from the office. Then there is a meeting, then there is a practice. He had his own orchestra, he had his own theatre group, he was also an AI announcer. So by the time he had come, by 10:30, I had already left, I had already slept, sorry. So this was a regular thing. Probably I used to see him, either have to get up in the morning to see him or probably Saturday and Sunday I used to see him. So he inspired me a lot. Thank you so much.
that person would be my best teacher. It was during my degree times. I was having multiple supplies, and I tried many times, but I couldn't. So my friend has suggested me to visit a tuition center, which was run by a person. So he was my best teacher. He was sort of an all-rounder. He just knows every subject. Like I was from the commerce background, Deco. He just knows every background. Like whether it be English, ethics, accounts, everything. And the thing, like the favorite thing which I like from him the most is that apart from accounts, like what all theoretical questions he says, only that questions will come. It's some sort of hack that only the questions which he refers will only come. I just need to only study the questions which he had been given. So that was a simple way for me to clear my supplies and clear out my report. Thank you.
My childhood days, Mr. Lokesh.
Childhood is the most memorable moment for everyone. I want to share an instance with you. When I was in my LKG, I was going to classes as usual, and I used to come back home. And there was something that was most feared for students in general. Is the parents-teacher meeting. More than the examinations, the parents-teacher meeting was more fearful. So when I went there, the teacher said that he comes to the class and he doesn't understand anything. So I said the teacher writes something on the board that I don't understand, like some symbols and all. And my mom was confused. She was thinking, what is this teacher teaching to my son? Something that's not academic, not relevant. And my mom asked, why don't you write what the teacher wrote in the board? And I was writing the normal alphabets, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my mom understood that I was not ready to learn those basics as well. And you have to take the change in such a manner that the teacher didn't demotivate me, but motivated me to do extra assignments and work harder.
Some people may like this topic, only some people. Ideal dress code for women. Shreya.
The ideal dress code for women is, and it depends on them. So if you had anything in mind, then I am not sorry to say that you're wrong. So if any woman wants to wear kurta or sari, depends on them, on any day that they want. If they want to wear, let's say, formals, it depends on them. So you are no one to judge, or you know one to say, let's say that's dress code. That's a whole totally different matter, and it's not like a personal opinion that they should wear formals. If it's a corporate thing, then okay, sure. I'm not a corporate person, but that depends on the company. But the ideal is, that never judge a woman and never tell a woman what to wear, even if it's your wife or your sister or your friends, because you will hear, I'm just talking for 1 minute, but they'll give you 1 hour speech about it. So do not test their patience on anything.
After that speech, I want you to give the same topic to a male member. She has stopped me. Joining Toastmasters is my best decision. Joining Toastmasters is my best decision. Stay aside.
So
first came to the stage, I was kind of jiggling. And it kind of takes me back to my initial school days. I remember I used to come, walk, my legs used to start shuddering, my voice, I was somehow scared. Something was not coming. My voice, my sounds. Then I took up the speech. Same thing. I came to the stage. Somehow my voice was not voicing. My brain was not braining. And that was when this prepared speech came. Somehow I realized I kind of could manage stuff when I had a directive, when I had a goal. But then, just like in life, we have the David process. It hits you like a brick. And then you have to act, not react. Respond. The calm mind and the relaxed. So Toastmasters is a place where I found that I could do that. That's why I would like to say this was my presence. Thank you.
Women and jewelry. Women and jewelry. Rashi.
Have you heard about the concept of monozygotic twins? Those twins are in that format that if one starts to cry, the other starts crying. It's a link. So that is good. If you dress well, okay. If you do the makeup well, okay. But the major part is jewelry. Donning the jewelry is like wearing your emotions confidently. I would like to build up on what Shreya said. I recently watched Devil Wears Prada. I don't know how many is a big fan of this stuff, but she had one statement that I dress for myself. I dress to be representative. I am this. It is just that when I get up early in the morning and I am looking at myself in the mirror, I think, okay, I need to achieve this day. Rather than just getting along with the day and getting like, oh, I'm losing out, I'm just waiting for 6 o'clock. So in that part, the sparkle of my life is my jewelry. The bracelets that I wear, the watch that I match with, the earrings that I wear, and most importantly, the rings that go with it. So jewelry is something which is, again, as I said, like a twin foundation for everybody, and every woman should adopt.
During this time, I have the liberty to give chocolates and to girls. My ideal life partner. My ideal life partner. Mr. Abhinava. One second, you want to listen to that topic again? No,
I'm 18. Today morning itself, my parents were talking to me. We'll finish your degree, do your MBA, join a good job. We'll find you a girl. I don't want to get married. I mean, of course, ever since childhood, even my dad has told my grandfather, I don't want to get married. He got married at 24. Now I'm scared of what will happen to me. Okay, jokes apart. What would you like for your ideal partner, right? A calm person, he or she is equal to you. He loves you or she loves you regardless of whatever happens. They'll stand beside you for whatever happens. I don't know. But if you manage to act, I don't know honestly. But honestly, 3 years later I can answer this question a bit more confidently after a few more dating profiles.
I love Bangalore. I love Bangalore. Surya.
So it's been 4 years since I moved to Bangalore. So I moved to Bangalore for my work. And so before moving to Bangalore, I was in Chennai. So you know the stark contrast of the climate, right? So like warm, humid climate to pleasant, and everywhere you have see the greenery. But of course, Bangalore and other parts, like the traffic, morning, and everything, right? But again, what to say? The city gave me everything, gave me new friends, gave me my peers, colleagues, Toastmasters family, and all the malls, theaters, and everything. So on the weekends, the hangout parks. So Bangalore, and with the rain and everything, Bangalore is finally Bangaloring. Pleasant climate. So yeah, for all that reason, I love Bangalore.
For the information of the guests and first come here and repeating. See, they are learning to speak on the spot. They didn't know what topic is. From here, only listening to the topic, they come and speak. That's what we overcome our fear of speaking. The next topic is what my school taught me. What my school taught me. Mr. Richard.
Dear Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, what the school taught me is variety is spicy. I was able to meet different kind of people who had come from different backgrounds, and they had mutual respect. Everyone wanted to speak and get what the other person was giving. No status symbol, but what was required was interaction. And people like my talking also. They all wanted to speak to me. Then I found that there is meaning in my life. It enhanced my zest for life. And really, if I had not gone to school, I would have been just a bit careless. Therefore, I really appreciate my classmates who have contributed for my development in varied ways, and I feel that that is the greatest gift I received in my life to present myself to the world through school.
Thank you, Richard. Why I was named Alchemist?
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Why I named as the Alchemist is usually my family name their grandchild with the grandmother's name or grandfather's name. So I got it from there. And I don't know the meaning of argument, so please do not ask me. The thing is that I used to get it from my grandfather's and grandmother's name. So it's the family name, I like that it comes generation by generation.
My ideal leader is Nikhil.
My ideal leader, since we already actually speak about cricket, I would like to stay on that team. I think someone like an MS Dhoni, even though I'm an RCB fan, I would go for that. Because he was someone who was very tactical, he was very smart, he read the game like no one else, and his results speak for himself. World Cups, IPL, everything. So that is something I would look up to, and that is someone I would like to emulate. Another person who's known for something different would be someone like, I don't know, Virat Kohli, who's very disciplined, who sets very high standards, and he wants to be the best in the world. So yeah.
Memories of my primary school, Vinisha.
Good evening, everyone. Sir has thrown a bit of a curveball to me. The distinction here is I've grown up in different cities. So primary school for me was actually 3 schools spread across Nagpur, Calcutta and Indore. So I carry different memories from each of them. An underlying theme across all of these schools would be resilience. Changing schools every 2 or 3 years, the amount of warmth and the amount of love a new teacher or a new classroom welcomes you with, that's something that really helped me grow in a new environment and taught me that yes, we can do well and flourish whenever thrown into a new environment repeatedly. So that was my memory.
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Saran.
When they say change starts with you, even self-belief starts with you. Good evening, fellow chocolate boys and chocolate girls. Good evening. When I think about believing in oneself, when I was small, I remember when I got my report card, which was filled with red numbers, my mom used to shout and say, what is wrong with you, this, that, and it used to go here and come out from here, right? No effect whatsoever. But one thing my mom did, she used to tell me, you need to get this report card signed by your dad. So I used to go to my dad, and my dad, used to, read the newspaper. But when I came up to him, he looked at it, he looked at the report card, looked at me, and the only thing that he said was, you could have done better, right? That's all he said. No shouting, nothing. It made me want to believe in myself. I remember taking the cycle, and on the way to school, I was like, I never want to see that disappointment in his face again. And if someone has taught me to believe in myself, it's my dad, and I'm so glad I get to acknowledge him today. Back to the
Advantage of influence. I repeat, advantage of influence.
There's this saying that goes, choose your heroes wisely, right? It's fascinating because I've spent a lot of time finding the right heroes. It started from the cricketing world, to the movies, to real life individuals, and later I realized probably the best heroes I could find are dead people who have their entire life crystallized in an autobiography. And it's very interesting, every time I reread those autobiographies, it sort of influences me in small ways. Of late, I've been reading the work of this salesman in the 1940s. He was a contemporary of the likes of Ralph C. Smedley. And just re-listening to him and translating it to today's day and time influences me in a lot of ways. It's fascinating how the more things change, the more same they are. Now that I go back and read a book of 1940s, I realize today's times are not so different. These ideas can be translated today. And that is why I always urge people, choose your heroes wisely.
who's been well influencing. And one day, you will end up becoming like them. Back to you.
Things that I miss. Things that I miss. Mr. Muralidhar.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Good evening. Yes, I miss the very small things. When I was a small kid, I used to go to the village, sleep on the rooftop along with my parents, eat the food there, see the moon, and literally sleep there and get up in the morning. Then come down in the morning again, go to the fields, catch hold of the cows, wash it, sometimes follow the hens where they are going. Then in the village, I used to take this paddy, right, and give to the machine and make it as a rice. See how beautifully it evolves. I never used to know this is rice. Then we used to store it in the big, I don't know what to call that. And every day they used to take the rice and distribute to everybody. Plus, especially that environment in that surrounding places, it was so beautiful, no pollution, no honking, nothing. It was really amazing to be there. I miss those moments when I'm in Bangalore.
Last two topics. Last but one. Little things I should forget. Little things I should forget. Mr. Chandrasekhar Naik.
A month back I was called to speak on a topic here. And the table topic master was Muralidhar. And to the topic I couldn't answer. And I came here, I fumbled, I couldn't say anything. Okay, I looked at Muralidhar once again, and then I went back. After the class got over, Bala was standing there. I ran to Abhinava sir and told, sir, what to do? He said, don't worry, forget it. Next time you'll improve. So it's okay, draw an experience, learn thing. The next time you analyze what you could have spoken and try to do better.
Benefits of change. Benefits of change. Yeah.
Well, they say change is the only constant applies to everyone, including me. Mr. Talking Master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Yes, most of us, when we hear the word change, we think it has a negative connotation, no benefits. Trust me, plenty of benefits. Now, the good old Bangalore, Jacobs are talking about it, no one honking. Now, benefits of honking, it's amazing. But don't get me wrong, at home, when people are shouting at you, you think that's bad? Nothing. Just go to Bangalore's roads. The honking, the noise in the house is nothing. One benefit. Second benefit, you had, you could say balconies, people could, look at your house, sunlight coming. Today, you have ideas all over. Benefit of change, privacy. You can do what in your house you want and no one will know what's happening. One benefit of that, right? In the good old days, everyone could see what is happening. Plenty of benefits, I could go on. All I want to say is, friends, you have a choice. You could think of change as something which is not beneficial and is going, you're digging yourself a big hole. Or on the other hand, you could tell yourself, change is something beautiful. It's uncomfortable, but stay with that discomfort and just enjoy life. Because change is beautiful. Not chiller or coins, a mega change in your life. Thank you.
Thank you very much for came here and tried their best. Good luck for you and over to
So all the other speakers can collect the chocolates later. Mine is also pending. So huge round of applause to our table topics master. So he would have taken this role for a world record number of times, but still he manages to find some interesting topic to keep it engaged and all of this. So that's a great thing to learn. Okay, so now we are done with 2 sections which I spoke. Now we are moving into the third section, which is the evaluation section. So it's time to introduce the boss of Durandas, the spy chief. She works as a tech lead with Nokia, and she is a fitness enthusiast. She likes going to cults regularly. She likes weights, dance fitness, and all of the formats. You already heard about her adventures of Meghalaya and all of this. And here she has been watching our meeting right from beginning, surveillance camera. She is a spy chief, and she will also have a tag team interview, talk about their findings, intelligence. So without much ado, I would like to call upon the general evaluator, the spy chief, the Iron Lady of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Priyanka.
A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and your guests.
Good evening.
Today's theme of the meeting was change within, change around. I would like to commend the week education for such a great theme. I believe that this theme epitomized this very place, Bangalore Toastmasters Club. This place has been very instrumental in bringing a lot of change in me. And I would like to mention 2 most important ones. One is to believe in myself, and the second is to be comfortable moving out of my comfort zone, because that is growth. And I would like to give the credit to a lot of people sitting over here today. They've been very, very instrumental in my journey. I have a great set of friends and an extended family over here who has made me who I am today, where I can also stand in front of you all as a general evaluator and evaluate the entire meeting. As a general evaluator, as mentioned, it's my role to evaluate the entire meeting from the start. But before I share my evaluation of the meeting proceedings, I would like to first invite the evaluators of the speeches to share their evaluation. The first evaluator for the first speaker was Mahesh Lokesh. I would request him to please come and share his evaluation for speaker Srinidhi.
Every great speaker was someone who was afraid to speak. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, and today's speaker, Toastmaster Srinidhi. What an inspiring icebreaker speech that was. I think now we all know whom to reach out for RCB match tickets. In all seriousness, the depth, the structure and emotional connect in the speech made it feel less like an icebreaker speech and more like a level 2 speech. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
The purpose of the icebreaker speech is simple. Introduce yourself with the basic structure of speech. But today, Toastmaster Srinidhi met the purpose absolutely, and he also hit the ball out of the park. Quite usual for someone who's from a cricket background. Let us now look at the speaker what it truly exceeded. For me, I feel one of the strongest aspects of the speech was its structure. The speaker thoughtfully took us through different stages of his life, from school days to college days and his professional career, and who now also influences teachers, from a guy who stumbled upon on stage to influencing teachers now. It's remarkable, right? The transitions were smooth, narrative flowed naturally, which kept the audience engaged throughout the speech. Considering the fact that this is Toastmasters Srinidhi's first speech in the club, I intentionally choose not to evaluate the technical finer details aspects of the speech, which is body language, voice modulation. That being said, did the speaker meet the objective of the project? A big yes. And any suggestions from my side to the speaker? It's absolutely none. I was in fact looking for one, but really couldn't find one. And I'm honestly okay with that. But before concluding, I would also like to appreciate the speaker's formal attire today. He looks sharp, and I think with the blazer and especially the red tie, he literally grabbed all the audience attention with that, and also which leveraged his stage presence. Thank you, Toastmasters Srinidhi, for sharing such an heartfelt journey with us today, and I genuinely look forward for your future speeches. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lokesh, for such a crisp evaluation. As we all are here to learn, I would have looked forward to one suggestion, and one suggestion from my end you would need. In your coming speech, where you focus on would be on your pauses, because that plays an important role in speeches, where you can start. With your first speech, yes, we do not do technicality, but an area to start on to move on to the next speech, I would suggest start with your focus on your pauses. Let's give the evaluator and the speaker a huge round of applause. The second evaluator for the second speaker is Toastmaster Tirumalesh. I would request you to please come and
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Especially good evening to my target speaker, Toastmaster. So actually, I came here to evaluate the speech, but I got a free, motivational lesson from your side. So yeah, with that, let me start evaluate your speech. So speaker, Toastmaster Divya, you shared a deeply personal and relatable journey about stepping out of comfort zone and embracing the imperfections. What made this speech impactful was your honesty, vulnerability, and emotional progression. So what went well? Your strong core message. You don't have to begin to be perfect to begin. This message stayed consistent throughout the speech and connected well with your title, Perfect to be Imperfect. And second is your personal storytelling. The speech felt authentic because you revealed all of your things. Your childhood difficulties, childhood shyness, fear of school, struggle in progress, counseling and career growth. So most of the people will hide all these things in their speech, I guess. So you told everything about them, so it made it more authentic. And also it resonates with most of the people about childhood shyness and many of the things, right? The fear of school, all these things. It resonates with me personally. So thanks for bringing it up. And also, emotional vulnerability. Speech was not just about achievements, but also you spoke about your low self-esteem, comparison, isolation, and losing interest in things when you lost the self-trust. The honesty makes the audience trust the speaker. So whatever you believe, everything was not a dramatic lesson. You just shared whatever happened in your life. So conversation style, it was absolutely clear. Speech sounded genuine rather than memorized. So as I said, it was your life story. So couple of areas improvements in my opinion. You could have slowed down and given a pause. So you said some of the big quotes, right? What you feed your mind is what you become, and I started accepting myself as perfectly become. So these are the very strong quotes. So it will make a big change in people. So you could have taken some pause or something like that, so that it would have made a more impact. And one more thing, you could have added about your Toastmasters journey. So you came out through all your difficulties, right? From your childhood shyness to you were able to comfortable on the stage speaking here, and also you were working as an HR, like you interact with most of people, other things. So the purpose of Toastmasters journey, if you would have told, it would have taken speech to the next step. So yeah, in my opinion, speakers try to sound impressive, but people choose to be sound real and trustworthy on their stage. And maybe like since this is your first speech, that should be okay. You could have whenever you made a transition, right, in your story, you could have moved to the other end of the stage. So these are my feedbacks.
Thank you, Tirumalesh, for such a detailed evaluation. Let's give evaluating speaker a round of applause. Join me in welcoming the third evaluator. For the third speaker, Toastmaster Abhay.
Life has a way of teaching you things that it wants to. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and our target speaker, Rashi. Thank you for that really amazing, clear, and confident speech. Now, there are 4 notes for the evaluator in your evaluation form, and I'd like to go through all of these because this is a very different project, which calls for inspiring the audience. The member needs to present a speech that inspires the audience. Now, how did you do on that? I think you tried to narrate a personal experience of yours with great detail and tried to draw a lesson that everyone in the audience can use in their daily life with ease. And this is the way I feel that you try to inspire the audience. Now, the speech content should be engaging and the speaker shall be entertaining or moving. You were engaging and entertaining to the audience because you asked questions and you cracked some jokes which elicited laughter from the audience. So this was really well done. Now the speaker should be aware of the audience response and adapt to the speech as needed. I thought that you asked the questions to the audience, and at some places the audience did respond and at some places they didn't. And I think you took your speech through taking into mind the response that you received from the audience. Now, it also says that the member should be talking with the audience and not at the audience. And I felt absolutely confident of the fact that you were speaking with the audience all the time. The audience was with you. And I could also personally realize and understand, it took me back to the scene where I played Garba for the first time in my sister's wedding. And the only intention I had was to take those sticks and hit everyone on the numbers. So it really took me, your level of visualization was really nice, and it was in such a depth that I was also visualizing in parallel with you. Now, coming to your some of the delivery aspects, I thought you had a very calm and confident stage presence with a nice wide smile, which is very characteristic of you, even when you meet you off stage. And your body language is very good. You had very open gestures. Now coming to the part where I thought that I made some observations about your speech. The repeated crutch word, which the account also might tell you, is so in your speech. And your walking around at times felt slightly excessive. So you could maybe stand at one point for a good amount and then you could move based on the need. And you had an excellent opportunity to create dialogues in two places. One with your mom and one with your friend. Okay, time was showing me the red card so soon. So, all in all, I felt that you did meet the guidelines of the speech and you really inspired the audience. So, thank you so much for a really lovely speech and all the best to you for your future speeches. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhay, for such comprehensive evaluation. Let's give you some applause to Rajdeep and the speaker. Join me in welcoming our fourth evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Rajdeep.
Fellow Toastmasters, General Evaluator and Jacob Eapen in particular. It's said that Rome was not built in a day, neither can a home be built in a day, but a home can be demolished in 1 hour. That's what you showed us. What did you do brilliantly in this speech today? I'll talk about the objectives a little later. The first one was your tone and tempo. You had a brilliant voice modulation, fantastically. When you said 50 years, the stress on 50, brilliant. It was demolished in 1 hour. We had tears in our eyes. Really nice. So the tone was brilliant. Your tempo was also brilliant. You spoke in an even pace, very clear, very understandable. Brilliant. We could understand and relate to everything which you said. So it was really nice. The second thing which you did brilliantly in your speech was the expressions and the entertainment value which you had in your speech. I love the expression. Those walls have been listening to those stories for 50 years and they've come alive with those stories. What a beautiful way to say how we hold the houses and how many stories you have in the house. Bangalore in those days had the old charm, the charm. We felt we were at that place and the entertainment value, how those cars were honking. We felt, I couldn't feel the 7 minutes pass. It was brilliantly done. So you had entertainment, you both talked about your neighbors constructing the house, and there were jokes in the middle. So your expression, the entertainment value was brilliant. What could you have done better? The speech was very abstract and all over the place. Remember, the objective of the speech is to build a team and lead a team for an event. The event was demolition of the house. You spoke about everything else other than building a team. I was expecting something. You spoke about how Bangalore is, you spoke about the traffic, you spoke about your neighbor. I was thinking you'd build a team with your neighbor's wife at least, but even that didn't happen. I thought you'd build a team with those motor guys who are down on your road. Even that didn't happen. I was wondering, where is the team coming? It was all over the place other than, you spoke about the theme of the day, change it. I think so Amrith will learn from you. But everything was there other than the objective of the speech. And the M for the motive. What was the motive? Build a team. You said you built a team with your engineer, with your lawyer, with your builder. But how did you build it? How did you lead it? What did you inspire with them? How much money did you get from that builder? How did you negotiate with him? I wanted to come up to you and tell Jacob, adopt me, I need that house. But how did you inspire that team? How was the JCB brought over there? So if you would have brought that aspect, the objective of the speech would have been fulfilled. So remember, the things which you did well were the tempo and the tone, the expression and the entertainment value, the T and the E, and the A abstract and all over the place in the motive. So that brings the team, T-E-A-M. That's what your speech was all about. So just to end and tell you something, Jacob, today you spoke about an entertaining episode which was supposed to be building a team. But had you brought the objective, it would have added a little steam. But anyway, it's everybody's dream to own a house like you in the center of the city. So please adopt me and make it a dream.
Thank you, Rajdeep sir, for such a detailed and comprehensive evaluation. Let's give a huge round of applause to the evaluation. Now moving on to the meeting. I reached the place at sharp 6 p.m. and I must say to the Sergeant the meeting room and venue was very well arranged. I also did see a lot of members supporting you in organizing everything and also addressing the guests. Well done. You started the meeting sharp at 6:20. I really like the way you started the meeting. It was something out of the box where you started the riddle by creating an interaction with the audience and also getting everyone's attention. You had a fantastic introduction from the residents. I liked how you changed challenge to change. Very interesting your change that you actually shared to all of us, which we all remember. I just had one suggestion for you. When you are moving from the 3 guidelines of the meeting and when you introduce the president, I observed that you said that, let me share another story. It's not another story. It's about how you bring the transition from sharing those 3 guidelines of the meeting and bringing the story. I would also want to challenge you with one thing. If you could bring the 3 guidelines in a more creative way for all the 3 things. If you could. With that, I must say, you did a fantastic SKA role for the entire meeting by organizing everything very well. Let's give a Sergeant Amrith round of applause. The next person to go on stage was our president. Our president, as always, has her own charm, a smile when she comes onto the stage. You very well greeted the guests, and I liked the energy that you started the meeting. Though you forgot to open the meeting, but I commend your presence of mind that you later opened the meeting. I do have a suggestion. You had a great story with regard to the theme, but I felt there was no strong message at the end with your story. Or maybe to make it more interesting, if you could share something more personal, because change is something that we all would have gone at some phase. Maybe that would have created more impact. It's a suggestion to mine, but I did also like the story that you shared with a little more impact with the message. I would like to also acknowledge our secretary who came. Let's give our president a huge round of applause. Who came and very well shared crisp minutes of meeting about the last meeting. A great work, and I must say on time we received by MOM. You're doing a fantastic job. I like your energy even when you share your MOM. Continue with the same. Let's give our secretary a huge round. Now moving on to the Toastmaster of the day. It's your first time. I really did not feel so. Amrith introduced you as somebody very calm and confident, and I must say you actually took over the stage with that same manner, calm and confident. I liked the point when you got in subtle humor in a lot of junctures when you took over the stage. That was really very well done. For a first time, it can be very challenging, but you did a really great job. I also like the comparison that you gave for the general evaluator and for the tag team. That was a great comparison, and I really like the tag team's introduction. You had apt introduction for all the road papers that you had called. If I may have to give a suggestion, would be the transitions. You have to work in the transition. You started about change. That was a good thing where you got audience involved. But then suddenly you went into Mass Akbar's story, where I felt there was that link if you could brought it once you got the audience engaged, and you could have shared that how did Facebook or Mark Zuckerberg created and changed in you would have been great if you could got that correlation. That would have been a great transition. And from there, the third transition was when we were trying to talk about Toastmasters. It just felt like three pieces. There was no link when you were. That is something that my suggestion is where you could focus on to it. All in all, a great job in doing it the entire meeting with your humor and yes, your calm, smile and confidence. Let's give our Toastmasters a huge round. Next, we have our dynamic table topic master. Robinson sir always had a very unique way of conducting the show, and today was nothing less than another unique way. Only thing, sir, I felt bad that I was a general narrator, not a table topic speaker, because I did not get the chocolate, because the chocolate is very special getting it from you. You don't bring the child out in us. I really liked, you got very interesting, simple and great topics, and very apt to every individual that were called upon on stage. It was, you're very well done, because sometimes we are not very sure which individual what topic to give, but I felt that way you aced it. If I may have to give a suggestion, will only be that you only had for some speakers, you had something to say, and for some, we directly just moved to another speaker. If you could have that consistency, it would be great. Otherwise, it was a great session. Let's give a dynamic table topic master a huge round. Now it's time to call my agents. Yeah, Muralidhar, we name them as what? I forgot the name. Agent W01, Agent W02. So I would like to first call the timer, Agent W01, to share his report.
Thank you, G. What a diligent meeting we have respect to the time. So, I can see very few exceeds, like the Toastmaster Imtiaz exceeded by 20 seconds. All the speakers managed within the time limit. EVALUATOR's Tirumalesh exceeded by just 15 seconds. One table topic master exceeded by just 15 seconds. Rest everybody on time. So let us close the meeting also on time.
Now it's time to call my agent W2, our counselor, to please share his reports.
Good evening once again. Yeah. I'm happy to report that we had several speakers who had successfully passed the minimal emission quota. So with excellent urban control in their speeches. So we had close to 30 speakers today, and I see and observe that 17 speakers with zero or almost zero filler flows. So a big round of applause for that. Definitely, few speakers have contributed very generously to the filler road economy, and the most used and the most frequently used filler words are so, as you all observe, every, believe me, and so on. So based on the tonight's observation, I would say as the IPL phenomena going on, we are 55% towards the strong vocabulary without the fillers, and we definitely have a room for improvement. So with this, I would rate today's evening meeting as green, quality standard, and we have a room for improvement. So with this, I end the quality audit for the same.
Thank you, Akthar, for such a great report. I would recommend we all co-takers have a look, because these clutch words and filler words really kind of removes the impact of what we present when you're on the stage. Now it's time to call our agent 03, our grammarian, Toastmaster Chandra.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka. I'm very happy to see how you all have used language today. There have been some brilliant use of language. For example, embrace being perfectly imperfect. Attach sentiments to the walls of a house. Horrendous traffic. Leveled to the ground. Negative connotation. And leveraged his stage presence. There has also been a few instances where people could have improved on their grammar. For example, I have an elderly sister. Given the speaker's age, it should have been I have an elder sister. I began performing academically well. Could have been I began performing well academically. Invisibleness could have been invisibility. The generation below you could have been the generation after you. Horning could have been honking. I noticed 3 people who used the word of the day. Toastmaster Muralidhar, Toastmaster Divya Someshwar, and Toastmaster Robinson D'Souza. I hope I haven't missed anyone. Toastmaster Puneet as well. And Toastmaster Amrith, okay. It's good to see so many people use the word of the day. Thank you all, and over to you.
Thank you, grammarian. Let's give our tag team a huge round of applause. Giving them the Before I sign off, I would like to share the password. The voting link is shared. It is 2226. I would like to thank the VP Education for giving me the opportunity to play the role of a general evaluator. And would like to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be here and learn, because it's a very great place to actually explore and know yourself better. So would encourage you all to please give yourself that chance. With that, I will be signing off as a general evaluator and handing over the stage to our calm, composed, confident Toastmaster of the day.
Well, Toastmaster Priyanka made it look so easy. The general evaluator role is not easy because it has come with experience, and she is a past president. She has taken up VP membership, VP education, VP PR, Sergeant at Arms. So a lot of experience has gone into to make sure that the speech that she gave or the evaluation was so good. For a wonderful evaluation, please give a round of applause for our general evaluator. Okay, so we come to the end of the section. Yes, technology can influence your choices, social media can influence, but platforms like Toastmasters will not only influence your confidence, communication, character, but helps you grow that the confidence to build that influence within and also spread around. With that note, I'd like to sign off. I want to give a special thanks to VP Education, Toastmaster Srinidhi, for giving me this opportunity. And now I hand over the stage back to our Madam President, Toastmaster Amrith Kaur.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bala. Let's have a big round of applause for all the speakers who came on stage today. And very quickly, we'll get to, I have one or two announcements. One is that next week we have club elections for the coming term, and the announcements are being made by our immediate past president, Toastmaster Chandra. So I request members to nominate themselves. It is a great opportunity to serve the club. Second, we have on June 12th, we have Tall Tales Speechathon coming, which means that we only are going to have speeches that day. And we have already got some registrations, but I request, and I'm looking for more registrations, so please put your names in the form. With that, we have come towards the end of the meeting and we'll announce the awards. Best Auxiliary Role Taker Award goes to Toastmaster Muralidhar. Best Role Taker Award goes to the calm and confident Toastmaster Balakrishna Rao. Best Evaluator Award goes to none other than Distinguished Toastmaster Rajdeep Manwani. Best Table Topic Speaker, Toastmaster Anil. Feels wonderful when we have new members come on stage and rock it. Today we have a tie for Best Speaker. We have Toastmaster Divya and Toastmaster Jacob Eapen. With that, we adjourn meeting number 1528.